Have you ever met someone who just always wants more? No matter how much money they have, how much food is on their plate, or how many blessings life has given them, they are never satisfied. They always want more power, more wealth, more attention, more of everything. But why? Why is that person so greedy? In today's video, we'll dive into the psychological, emotional, and spiritual layers of greed. We'll answer the deep-rooted question, why do some people become so consumed by the need to take, to hoard, and to control? Whether you're trying to understand someone close to you or you're reflecting on yourself, this video will give you the insight you need. Let's take a closer look at the heart of greed. Greed. It's a word that echoes with judgment, disappointment, and sometimes even fear. We often associate it with billionaires hoarding wealth, corrupt leaders clinging to power, or individuals who betray friends and family just to get ahead. But the truth is, greed doesn't always wear a suit or hold a title. Sometimes, greed shows up quietly, in your coworker who takes credit for your work, in your relative who manipulates inheritance, in your partner who always wants control, in the friend who's never satisfied, no matter how much you give. But before we judge them, before we point fingers, we must ask, why are they that way? What makes a person so greedy? To understand greed, we must go deeper than behavior. We must explore emotion, trauma, identity, fear, and even love. The root of greed, fear of lack. At its core, greed is not about abundance, it's about lack. Greedy people often behave the way they do because deep down, they're afraid that they'll never have enough, afraid they'll lose what they have, or afraid they'll be insignificant without possessions. Greed is like an emotional armor. It says, if I just get one more thing, I'll be safe. If I have more than others, I'll matter more. If I control everything, I won't feel powerless anymore. And this fear of lack often comes from childhood. Many greedy individuals grew up in homes where they felt invisible, unloved, or constantly in competition. Perhaps there wasn't enough food, money, affection, or attention. Maybe they were told that love had to be earned, or that life was a race, and they could only survive by winning. So what do they do as adults? They chase, they hoard, they take, they build empires, not just of wealth, but of emotional walls. And behind those walls, they hide their greatest fear, that they are not enough, just as they are. Greed as an addiction. Let's talk about how greed functions like an addiction. When a person buys something luxurious, gets a promotion, or takes control over someone else, they get a dopamine hit. It feels good. It feels like power. It feels like worth. But just like any high, it doesn't last. So what happens? They want more, and more, and more. This is how greed becomes a cycle. The satisfaction is temporary. The hunger is constant. What they're really addicted to isn't the object. It's the feeling of filling the emptiness inside. But here's the heartbreaking part. No amount of more will ever be enough to satisfy a need that is emotional, not material. Greed and identity. For many greedy people, what they have becomes who they are. Their house becomes their pride. Their car becomes their ego. Their job becomes their status. Their wealth becomes their self-worth. And once your identity is tied to what you own, losing anything feels like losing yourself. This is why some greedy people become controlling. They hold on too tightly, They dominate relationships. They micromanage everything and everyone. Because to let go of even a little bit feels like death to the ego. The coldness of greed. As greed grows, empathy shrinks. Greedy people often lose sight of others' needs. Why? Because when you're always in survival mode, you see the world in terms of winners and losers. You stop seeing others as people and start seeing them as competition, obstacles, or resources. This is how greed poisons relationships. Partners feel used, friends feel betrayed, children feel ignored, employees feel exploited, and the greedy person, deep down, starts to feel lonely, even if they never admit it. Greed builds walls, but those walls also become prisons. Trauma and the emotional void. One of the most common reasons for chronic greed is unhealed trauma. Some people experienced abandonment, poverty, or emotional neglect. Others were humiliated, rejected, or made to feel invisible. These experiences create an emotional void, and greed becomes a coping mechanism. It's easier to chase status, money, or possessions than to face pain. But until the pain is healed, no amount of money will ever bring peace. No car, no mansion, no promotion can fix a wounded soul. Greed is often a symptom, not the disease. Now that we've uncovered the hidden roots of greed, the question becomes, what can we do about it? Whether you're dealing with someone who's greedy or you see signs of it in yourself, there's hope. Let's talk about how we can confront and overcome greed, and maybe even help someone else break free from it. Understand before you judge. Before you label someone as evil or selfish, try to understand where their greed is coming from. Often it's fear, trauma, or insecurity, not malice. Ask, what did this person go through as a child? What are they afraid of losing? What need are they trying to meet through possessions or power? Empathy doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it opens the door to healing. Set healthy boundaries. Dealing with a greedy person can be exhausting. You must protect your own peace. Set clear boundaries. Say no when needed. Don't let guilt manipulate you into giving more than you should. You can love someone from a distance and still protect yourself. Model generosity and gratitude. One of the best ways to inspire change in others is to model the opposite behavior. Be generous. Be thankful. Celebrate what you have, not what you lack. Let them see that joy doesn't come from hoarding. It comes from sharing, connecting, and appreciating. Sometimes, your light can remind others of the light they've lost. Encourage reflection, not shame. If the greedy person is someone close to you, gently invite them into reflection. Say things like, what are you really afraid of losing? What would enough look like for you? Do you feel like you're still chasing something that's missing? Greed hates vulnerability, but healing begins when truth is spoken. Work on your own shadow. We all have a little greed in us. That's right. Even you, even me. Maybe it shows up as envy. Maybe it's the urge to win all the time. Maybe it's the fear of being outdone. Greed is part of the human experience. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. Start by asking yourself, when do I feel the need to take more than I need? What am I afraid will happen if I stop chasing more? What wound in me needs healing? When you do the inner work, you become not just freer, but more compassionate toward those still caught in the web. Greed may appear loud and powerful, but at its core, it's the silent cry of someone who never felt like they were enough. The antidote to greed isn't more, it's meaning. As author Brené Brown said, we are enough. We have enough. And when we live with this truth, we give others permission to do the same. If you found this video meaningful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Greed doesn't have to define us. Together, we can choose something better. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need more followers, more wealth, more beauty, more control. But the truth is, what makes life rich isn't found in banks or boardrooms. It's found in love, in connection, in moments of peace, in people who make your soul feel seen. Greed whispers, you are not enough. But your heart knows better. Your worth isn't measured by what you own, but by how you live, love, and give. So today, if you find yourself chasing endlessly, pause, breathe, and ask, what am I really hungry for? You might discover it's not things, it's healing, not status, but safety, not wealth, but belonging. The good news? You already carry everything you need to begin that journey within you. If this message resonated, don't just click away. Subscribe to this channel to keep growing with us. Drop a comment below. Tell us what enough looks like for you. Hit like if you believe the world needs more compassion and less competition. And if someone in your life is struggling with greed or suffering in silence beneath it, share this video with them, gently, lovingly, because sometimes the smallest seeds of truth can grow into the biggest changes. Greed doesn't have to win. You can be the beginning of something different. You can be the reminder that generosity is still alive, that healing is possible, and that no matter what the world tells us, we are already enough. Thank you for spending your time with us. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of others, and above all, stay true to the parts of you that money could never buy. See you in the next video.